Good evening, and welcome to WANA Live, the reading series of the Writers Association of Northern Appalachia. I'm your host, Damian Dressick. This is your other host.
Christina Fasonic, how are you? Yeah, I'm over here. Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you actually, I don't have to do it the wrong way.
You are doing it the wrong way.
No, I'm
You're
pointing
point,
right at you.
you're pointing at the door. You were right the first time.
Our
See?
screens aren't matching. No, that's the
No,
wrong.
because they're
Anyway,
mirrored.
okay, this is really entertaining
We've
for the
been
audience.
doing this
We
show for
better, we
how
better get it.
long?
We better talk about the writer.
Please. Before we do that, though, I do want to let everybody know that we at WANA have been working behind the scenes, and we're just about ready to launch our call for proposals for our fall conference.
Now, wait a second. Is this the conference in September?
Yes, September 19th and 20th.
And this is the conference that only costs $125 to attend?
If you register early.
Well, why wouldn't you register early with people like Jan Beatty and the Women of Appalachia and Sue Powers? I
Powers.
mean,
Yeah.
this is a really good, really great thing to go. All those exciting presentations we're going to be able to see.
Probably more than 20 by the time we get it all set up. So we're
Oh,
we're
I
very
wanna say
excited.
something about that. Yeah, because I went to see you went you went as well, but we went to see Joy Priest at Pitt
Mm.
last week, and it was so because I haven't done anything like that for a while. It was so cool. It was like got me excited about my own writing, got me excited thinking about writing, kind of gave me some new perspectives into some of the stuff I'm doing. And that's one of the things I think that when you think about the conference coming up in September, it's like getting lighting that fire, being around all those other people who are valuing literary work and are interested in building community. I'm excited about it.
No, I agree with you. And I think that you can't help but feel energized about your work and about being part of, as you said, a community of writers that have similar interests and also dedication to their work. Because I think we can have conversations all day long with people about our writing, but there's something special about talking to other writers who are in the thick of it as well.
All right. Speaking about talking of other writers, I
Yes.
think we're going to do that now, right?
Yeah. Yes. I have a bio right here. So, the author of two published books, C.L., also known as Cindy Johnson, is working on the final book of her trilogy, Hiding, Hunting, and Healing. In addition to the murder mystery series, she has several new plots rattling around in her head, but she insists on one story at a time. She loves traveling, and the only other thing that compares to her adventures is returning to her special place where her mind, body, and spirit are in harmony. And for Cindy, that is West Virginia. So let's bring her on the show. Hey,
Hello,
Cindy.
hello, hello. Hi, guys.
Hi,
Thank
Cindy.
you.
How
I'm
are
so
you?
excited to be here. I'm very pleased. It's a happy evening for me.
Yeah, it's
Excellent.
good to have you on. I keep, we always have a list of people that we keep wanting to invite, and then things get moved around and jumbled, and we're glad to finally have you on the show.
Me too.
So what will you be reading for us this evening?
The first of the books that are published, I'm going to hold it up here. This is Hiding. Can you
Can
see
you
it?
move it? Yeah, there you go. A little closer.
Hiding.
Now, is this hiding like beating people?
No, this is the main character is hiding. I'll give you a little bit of a synopsis on what this
Okay.
book is about, and then I'll read a little bit in the first chapter. When you're ready, you let me know.
We're
Okay,
ready.
well, we're going to disappear and then you can go for it.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm going to be reading from Hiding, the first book I published. I'm going to kind of set the story up for you first. How do you escape when you're being hunted? Where do you go when you're out of options? You go into hiding. Camilla S. Kennedy was known as an excellent attorney, tough, tenacious, and adept at straddling the line between legal and illegal. As her reputation grew, many people sought her out, the type of people with money and connections. The man, he was one of those people. It began with a phone call that led to an afternoon meeting that would change the course of her life. One day, one meeting, one blink. The day she had taken her eye off the ball. The man's power could not be matched. Once he got you, you were his. 2 years and a relationship with the man's son didn't give her the option to just walk away. She knew too much. Once he got you, she knew he he would have you. 2 years in a relationship with man's son. Sorry, I read that. Camilla determined the time to escape was drawing near. Once he used her up, she would become a liability, and the man did not keep liabilities. She knew she must run. She must hide. And there was only one place in the world where she may just be able to do that. She was going home to the Hollow, the place she left over 20 years ago. Now was the time for hiding. So this is Hiding, and the book is about this woman. She's our main character. I'm going to read from the first chapter for you. It's 3 o'clock in the morning on a dirt road on the top of a mountain. It's dark. Shadows move amidst the trees. Did I go down the wrong road again? Camilla thought as she pulled her car over. Wait. I know this road. She'd been driving almost 7 hours. But if you count how many times she'd been turned around, it'd be 8. She should have bought a map. She could have gone anywhere, literally anywhere. Italy, a Caribbean island, Colorado. Why West Virginia? Why the hell did she feel the need to escape to West Virginia? Fear. It was fear of what would happen had she not, knowing that she could be and would be found wherever she went, except here. This was the one place where she didn't exist. She sat in her car on a backcountry road and took a deep breath. Maybe nothing looked familiar, but at least she was safe for now. The road was a single-lane dirt road, barely more than a path. She hadn't driven the road since she was 18. As a kid, she rode down these dirt lanes daily, most days on the school bus. Sometimes it was in Daddy's truck. She leaned forward and cranked up the heat. It was chilly, mid-September. She took another deep breath and looked around. No traffic, nothing moving except the leaves. Where was she? From the main road, she drove to Weston, traveling toward Elkins, then took Route 250 to Durban and on to Burner Mountain. She made it to the Horseshoe Bend. That was right, but from there she was lost. Well, maybe not lost, just not where she wanted to be. Camilla turned the car off, wrapped her jacket around herself, slid her seat back, and closed her eyes. She was exhausted. How long has it been since I slept? She wondered. In a matter of moments, she was asleep. The gentle sound of rain hitting the roof of her car woke her at 6:53. It was that time right before daybreak when the shadows started to dance again. With a frustrated, tired sigh, she started the car. As she headed back toward the bend, she was amazed at the beauty of the mountain. She had almost forgotten what it looked like in the early morning light. The shadows danced. They danced faster as each passing minute brought her more up sunshine. The leaves were in their prime, crimson and orange, gold and purple. The rain only helped in bringing more magic. She turned the car around at the bend, gazing at the skyline where the mountains reached toward the clouds. Watching the sky, she now knew where to go. Just over a short hill, the road widened to the left, and there it was, a little dirt road where she knew every flower and every tree that ran its border. This was her road. There used to be 3 farms on this road. Now there's only one. Off to the left side is the hollow where she used to live. She turned onto the wide path where no vehicles had traveled in a long time. At certain points, the weeds had completely taken over and the road disappeared. As she turned the bend, she saw a silo, the Low farm. It was nothing like she remembered. The barn was smaller, and it looked like it hadn't been used in decades. The roof was caving in. The house itself was abandoned, and a little further down, she passed the second farm. It, too, was dilapidated. What had happened to the Smiths and the Lows? They had children. Where were they? Why would they leave? But wait a minute. She left. She slowed to a crawl as the road grew narrow. Thankfully, the sun was up, and she could see where she was going. As she passed the giant oak where she carved her initials when she was 16, she saw the 2 ridges that fell into the hollow. Suddenly, she burst into tears. Cammie Sue had come home. As if on cue, the rain stopped. The sunlight flooded over the mountain range. Camilla sat in her car and cried for a very long time. The memories created a flood. There you go.
Right. Well, goodness gracious, we're on the run.
We're hiding for sure. Yes.
So I want to ask, because this is very I like to think sometimes there are like two different kinds of fiction. Like one is sort of like closer to the sort of the lived experience, most people's lived experience reality. And this feels, it sort of pushes past that, and we're into that special, sort of heightened reality of the thriller. What inspired this, Cindy?
That's a very good question. And as soon as I get the answer, I'll let you know. No, seriously, I had no intentions of writing a murder mystery. No intentions at all. Never even entered my mind. As a matter of fact, it didn't enter my mind to write this novel. I come from a Scotch-Irish family who loved to tell wonderful stories. And my grandmother had a story for any subject you'd bring up. My mother wrote short stories, and she'd sit us three girls down and read them to us. So it was kind of in our blood. And when COVID hit, I was lucky enough that my supervisor allowed our team to work from home, remote. I live alone. And so 24/7, I was by myself. And that's hard. That is tough. And so I had a beautiful sunroom, and I would take my laptop out and sit in the sunroom in the evening and write my short stories. Well, one evening I was writing, and all of a sudden it's like 2:30 in the morning. And wait a minute, I'm 40 pages in here. This is not a short story. And it just came tumbling out at me. And I'm sorry, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it did. This
Not
story,
at all.
I knew I wanted to write about West Virginia. I knew I did. And before I retired and back some, I had a travel company. And that allowed me to travel throughout West Virginia with motor coach tours and take trips. One of the places I went to at least twice a year was Cass Scenic Railroad in Pocahontas County. So that's a very magical place. I'm sure you guys know all about it too.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's just magical and mysterious and, very different. And so that drew me in. So I thought, okay, I'm going to the mountains. That's what I want. And so I started writing. Now, the story I wasn't thinking of any one person when I was writing it, but in retrospect, Cammie Sue, Camilla, definitely has a lot in common with me as far as age, and she's a woman and she's on her own for a while. So that's what took me there. And it took me a long time to write this book. I really didn't know what I was doing and barely do now. Does that answer?
No, we're not. You're not putting yourself in. There's not enough commonality that you're putting yourself in danger by appearing on our show, is there?
No, I think well, wait till you get to book 2. We're hunting then. No, I think I'm good.
Well, I know, no, I think you speak to the way writing
Don't want to be
actually
an accessory after the fact.
works. That was
On
a
any given day.
great reason. So I think that you're speaking to really what happens to all of us as writers, that sometimes we don't know what inspires us. It's the muses. I mean, that's why
Yeah.
the old folks came up with the muses. Our early philosophers were, because where does it come from? The inspiration to write, or the idea that you get 20 pages into something and you realize, wait a minute, this isn't a short
Yeah.
story anymore. This might be a book. And I think that that's organic, and that seems to be the way most of us write. I mean, I know there are plotters and pantsers, right? So there are
Yeah.
people that are like, I have this outline, and here I'm going to do this, and here I'm going to do this, and here I'm going to do that. And then there's other people who just start writing and see where the muse takes us.
I'm number 2.
Yeah, I'm a combo of those things. I need a little structure, but I
Yeah,
also let it go. So you're working on book 3, right?
I am, and that is called Healing. So there's a lot of, well, not, I shouldn't say a lot. There are cliffhangers and a lot of questions woven into the first 2 books that I've kind of left dangle there. And I'm trying to write the 3rd book so that we can bring it all together and it makes sense. Oh, that's why you did that. Oh, this is why you did that. So I never intended to have 3 books, but the bug got me.
Yeah.
And you got to go like this when you want me to be quiet, because I've never been accused of not talking. I wrote the book for myself. There was no aspirations of even anybody else reading the book. Thank you both very much. And so I was content with that. I had no timeline and expectations. I wanted to be able to hold this book in my hands. and for me. And so I did. There's tons of errors in the first book because I didn't have the money for an editor, and so it doesn't ruin the story at all. But people are going to say, "Oh, come on, Cindy, look at this. You misspelled that word or whatever." But that's why, because I did the best I could with what I had. I belong to a small book club, and so it just happened that I was hosting the book club that month here at my house, and I heard it too. A case of books came that day, my first case of books. So
Yeah.
I didn't say a thing to anybody, and I just took, there were 8 of us, took the books out and handed them out. And oh my gosh, talk about raising you up. These women, they were like, come on, we're taking you on a ride. And it was so wonderful because the next week they were all, and these women don't pull any punches. They would be like, they'd either not say anything if they thought, okay, that's good. We're really proud of you for doing it, Cindy. That's great. They wouldn't say anything if it wasn't what they meant. And they were like, you got to do something. You got to get this out there. Well, they didn't know I already had it out there on Amazon. But that's how I started.
Well, and by the time you have the last book out, then you can go back and edit that first one so that you can release it as a full set.
Yes, yes.
Books.
Yes, I'll be contacting you about that, Christine.
I know people. I know lots of people
Yes.
in the writing world, especially here in Wheeling. So, well, I look forward to seeing the next one come out. Do you think it'll be out by the fall?
Oh, yes, absolutely. 2 years ago, Hiding came out. Then last year, Hunting came out. Now this July is my target for Healing. And then we'll wrap that all up.
Yeah, and who knows? You might write a 6-volume book next time, a set.
I might not.
Well, I think with considering the state of the world right now, who doesn't spend a lot of time thinking about going on the lam?
Yeah, boy,
It's
isn't that the truth? Yeah, we don't even want to open that subject up tonight.
Right, where do you go? How do you get there? What do you do? Blah blah blah. Yeah. So.
Oh, Cindy, I wanted to ask. I'd never heard of this before, but I bumped into it this evening and doing some research. Have you ever heard of the conference Killer Nashville?
No, I don't think I have.
It's a conference that caters to like crime writing.
Oh, okay.
So maybe take a peek at that Killer Nashville.
Nashville. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you so much for making time. Well,
yeah,
making time to come on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a true pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you again.
All right. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Yes, we'll see you next week.
Wonderful. I'll be